Hello and welcome. There have been two heavy detonations on two Russian strategic bomber bases. I will explain to you what are the implications, what is the importance, and what do we know so far. As the stream technician has decided to come, I'll be here like Dr. Evil, but let me start with the first video. That's from the Engels Air Force Base here. As we can see, some security camera. And oh, I missed it. I'm sorry. Here it is. We see a detonation in the background, and then you can hear the sound coming in, and you even see the camera shake once it hits the camera. And here we have a video of the same area, at least they say so, which is supposedly showing us how it sounds when right before the detonation. To me, that sounds like a turbine, like a jet engine or something like this. But let's see the third detonation, which is here from Diaghilev, or however you pronounce it, airbase. You see detonation in the background and something blowing up. Now, where are those bases? They are here, and each of them is more or less exactly 500 kilometers away from Ukraine's recognized international borders. So it's far within Russia and without the reach, outside of the reach of every known missile in the Ukrainian arsenal, of which they have stocks, apart obviously from outside of airplanes. So both are deep within Russia. Here are images from those air bases. This is from Google Maps. It's here we see Engels. Engels is an airbase that is mostly used for strategic bombers. Here we can see Tupolev 95 Bear, a couple of them, and deeper down here we see among them Tupolev 160. Those are supersonic bombers, which are have a long range and a great payload. Russia is valuing them so highly that they actually just recently have restarted production while accepting huge costs for the production of those planes. So they are the creme de la creme, the best what Russia's strategic bomber force has to offer. And as far as I know, Engels is the main base for them. Tupolev 95, of which we see a lot here, is more or less the equivalent of the B-52. It has more or less the same range of capabilities, and it is more, I think it's even from the same year. So we have a Cold War veteran here with roughly 70 years of age, as well as the B-52. But as we can see with the US, it's still going strong, as the capabilities the T-59 is offering is very high. Here we have the other airbase in Diaghilev. I'm not completely sure. I couldn't find out whether there are active operations from this base, but what I did find out that it's definitely used to mothball bombers that might be used in a case of an emergency. It seems that those all here are Tupolev 22. They are smaller planes. You could say a smaller version of the Tupolev 160. Supersonic as well, but shorter range and shorter bomb load. But they can also start cruise missiles as the others do. We see a big number of them. This is a Tupolev 95 as well. Those are transport planes. I think they should be Ilyushin 76. And we see more Tupolev 22 here, at least unless I completely misidentify them, because in theory they might be M4s as well, of which supposedly there are some on this base as well, even though I haven't seen them. By the way, Antonov 2 here, if I identify it correctly. So we have two air bases stacked with bombers. The information now is that you can find that either Tupolev 95, which we see here, have been destroyed or have been damaged. Why is this of importance? Tupolev 95 can carry up to 16 cruise missiles, either KH-55, which are now being used without their nuclear warhead as decoys, at least according to the British and the Ukrainian sides, and they can also use KH-101 and KH-555, all of those two missiles that are being used against Ukraine in the attacks on the infrastructure. So if two of those planes are actually damaged or even destroyed, this means that immediately the Russian can send 32 cruise missiles less in one single salvo, because those two planes are taken out, which means it makes it harder for the Russians to overcome and oversaturate Ukrainians' air defense. So this should actually just killing those two, taking those two out, should increase the ratio of shutdowns by the Ukrainian air defense when it comes to cruise missile attacks. Whether it's only two planes and what shape they are, we don't know. We even have the information that this detonation here was supposedly a fuel truck, as we've heard in the past that sailors were smoking while and that started a fire, while we can clearly see in satellite pictures that ballistic missiles have hit that place. So whether that has actually been a fuel truck, I would consider unconfirmed now. There's one theory where those weapons might have come from, and that's that Ukroboronprom has said they were developing a cruise missile with 1,000 kilometer range and a warhead of 75 kilos, and supposedly it is ready to be tested, so it's more or less ready to fly. And that's the newest information about this cruise missile. We should not forget that Ukraine had a fairly potent defense industry. They were participating in the Russian space system. They were participating in the Russian Topol-M intercontinental ballistic missile system. Motor Sich built turbines that were equipping the majority of the Russian combat helicopters prior to 2014. So Ukraine, in theory, should very well be capable of developing a weapon like this and deploying and producing it, at least depending on how much of its defense infrastructure was successfully destroyed by the Russians. As we have two attacks on two strategic bomber bases, so basically the same target class or classification in the same night, to me there's hardly any doubt that this was an intentional attack by one side, so likely the Ukrainian side, and here we have an explanation for this. And to summarize it up, Ukraine very likely attacked two strategic bomber bases in the last night. They will likely have taken out two strategic bombers, which will reduce the Russian capability to start cruise missiles by 32 per salvo, either because the planes are damaged and that will take weeks and months to repair, or because they were actually destroyed. That's it from me for now. I hope this was interesting to you. This channel is only possible because of the support from viewers like you. If you like to support the channel, you can do so by the means in the description. Thank you very much to everyone already supporting. Your help is really appreciated. You can also support the channel by hitting the like button if you enjoyed the video, by leaving a comment. What do you think? Was this a Ukrainian attack, or do you have an alternative explanation? And if you haven't subscribed yet, I would like to invite you to subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so you don't miss future videos. That's it from me for now. Thank you for watching, and I'll be back.